I usually max out the autonomy in Iceland because it's a pain to deal with the rebels. Yeah, they are definitely not easy to deal with. Trav managed to avoid the disaster somehow, despite the fact that she hasn't gone up in stability. Okay, so Aragon has finished the war with Castile. Castile now no longer exists. Before they got any colonies or anything, which is astonishing considering how aggressively Castile tends to colonize. So I would say that Morocco was probably the biggest beneficiary from that war. Aragon has one province in Sevilla, which could cause some tensions with Morocco and Portugal in the future, particularly, I would say, Portugal. Although, trade going to Safi. Where does Morocco collect? Morocco collects in Seville now. And in Safi. Oh, that's a mistake. You lose a ton of trade power there. I think what I would do is I would push the trade from Safi into Sevilla and then collect in Sevilla. Although you've only got 2% control of this. And that's because you're suffering a minus 82% because you're collecting in two places. Oh, and overextension. Wow, you have a lot of overextension in that case. 80%. About to go away. Right, of course, because of all the territories in Spain you've taken. But I would switch up that trade, Morocco. Not efficient. Mamelukes currently not going after Horsa. I saw those colours and I was like, oh, Mamelukes going after Horsa, but no, they're not. Have you collected any new allies? That is the real question. Mamelukes are allied to Aragon. That's an interesting choice. I guess Mamelukes are still worried about the Ottomans. Even though I still maintain, like, the Ottomans, Mamelukes, and Morocco, if those three allied, that would be a very serious power block. And Aragon would be getting very worried. But if Aragon is allied to the Mamelukes, probably to counter the Ottomans, I'm not sure if that really works in Aragon's favour. Because the Mamelukes are going to be stealing all the trade here, so Aragon's going to be losing out. Unless, of course, Aragon steals money from Sevilla. Which, again, it's going to cause problems with Morocco and Portugal. I'm just going to see if Aragon even has a merchant here. They don't. So they're siphoning a little bit of money, but not a huge amount. Where does Aragon have their merchants? Genoa and Alexandria. So yeah, they are taking money from Alexandria, as they kind of have to. It's one of the few sources of money going from the east. Otherwise they'd need to contest Ragusa, and that's never easy. Because Ragusa tends to have lots of little players who just siphon tiny bits of money away. See how long this list is. It's a lot shorter because there are far fewer HRE powers than there usually are. Because the HRE is actually starting to blob up. That's what happens when there's a weak emperor. Who is the biggest force limit? Before I even look at this, I'm going to say PLC. Disregarding Ming. Biggest force limit in the world is actually the Ottomans and then the Mamelukes. Oh no, sorry, it's the Ottomans and then the Mamelukes and the Commonwealth are behind with 2 less. And then there's quite a big gap between the Commonwealth and Austria and Muscovy. But yeah, Commonwealth and the Mamelukes actually having the same amount. But in terms of actual army size, Commonwealth's winning. Not surprisingly. I'm surprised at how little artillery he has, though. I mean, obviously artillery for the Commonwealth... Sorry, cavalry for the Commonwealth is super, super useful. But Helson, from what I know from how Helson plays, tends to run with more artillery than that. In terms of actual combat strength, though, in first place we currently have Morocco. But all of these armies are going to be unpaid right now. So this is not a fair comparison. Discipline, Congo, Rostov, Commonwealth, Ottomans. Siege ability, Ottomans, Mamelukes, Papal State, that's probably a part of the professionalism, where the Ottomans are still winning. Commonwealth in third, Brandenburg is second. Then tradition, Commonwealth, Ottomans, Switzerland in third place. That's an interesting one. And then France in fifth. More interesting to me, though, 73% cavalry combat ability, 40% infantry combat ability, and 10% artillery combat ability. So that's probably why Helston hasn't bothered with too much artillery, although in this era still, your main use for artillery is knocking down castle walls. I didn't know the Mamluks had that large a force limit. It's because they're so wealthy. Portugal's built up their trade ports. That's actually a good point. Yes, they've got 3 of their trade ports to level 2. These 2 will probably follow fairly shortly. Aragon, all level 1. Even their capital level 1. You get huge bonuses for building up Valencia. Aragon, do it. Build up Valencia. Morocco also languishing with just 1 single level 2. The other 2 level 1s. But he did just conquer those, so that's not a huge surprise. And Morocco has a fair amount of money, probably taken from Castile. No loans, debt-free. So if I was Morocco, I'd spend some of that money to upgrade some of these centres of trade. France hasn't done much with trade. Holland also hasn't. Like, a lot of the players are really dropping the ball when it comes to upgrading their centres of trade. Only Amsterdam is a level 2, and he starts as a level 2. Denmark? Come on, Denmark. Be the exception that proves the rule. Nope, Denmark hasn't either. All of them level 1. And it still kind of surprises me that Copenhagen's not a centre of trade, but it just gets the sound toll. Which, early game, really strong. Late game, kind of sucks. Muscovy hasn't done it, which is not a huge surprise. Commonwealth? Not a huge surprise. I mean, you don't really rely on trade very heavily. Ottomans? Ottomans have 2 of them at level 2. That might just be the AI, though. I don't know if the player has done it. Mamelukes? Just Cairo level 2. Fairly sure it starts with a level 2. So yeah, very few of the players have really done much with trade. Vijayanagar has a couple of level 2s. I'm not sure if that's the type of thing the AI would do. So maybe Vijayanagar has been building up their trade. I'm not sure. I don't think the Netherlands players had much chance to do much upgrading. Well, the first level is only 200 ducats. At this stage of the game, you should definitely have earned 200 ducats at some point. Especially as the Dutch.
Hello.
Hello.
I have to say France is very satisfied with its allies, right? Except maybe Denmark. Not. Look at France. Look at Brittany.
Oh, you took it. Did you buy it from Ireland?
He gave it to me.
Oh, gave it.
He sold it to me. He sold me 2 provinces for 0 money and 1 province for 21 ducats to repay his loan.
Okay. Yeah, I was expecting him to sell those to you, but giving them that works too.
And I also got in my 3rd or 4th war in my last war against Burgundy, I got 3 provinces back: Valois, Nemours, and Rheims.
I did wonder about that because Troyes you got from Champagne, then yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I was also very satisfied with my dual attack with Holland on the Utrecht army that was sieging Berlin, which we could stack wipe then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think your alliance with Austria is the best one. Like, the Franco-Austrian alliance is scary.
Yeah, but I have the feeling that's one told for long.
No?
No, I know what Cold Rage is planning, so I think in the end game I'm going to get to blows with him.
Okay, fair enough. Well, hopefully by then you've taken Burgundy.
I hope so as well. What I'm most concerned about right now is the Aragonese Mamelukian ally.
Yes, I'd noticed that. And I'm still trying to work out exactly how that benefits Aragon. Because Aragon is a trading power and is currently doing no trade. And most of their money should be coming from Alexandria, which is the Mamluks' home territory.
It's a revenge plot.
Yeah.
Calico already said that if he dies, he will come back as Mamluks and will try to destroy me. And Aragon has already more than once shown that he is going to want my lands. If you look at Florida and what he did in the war against Denmark, or with Denmark, where I was on Denmark's side. So yeah, that's probably.
It's not so surprising. I'm just, yeah. If it's a war of revenge, then I kind of understand the alliance. But in terms of just in-game economics, it's a very strange one. So you might be able to find an alliance with, say, the Ottomans to counter the Mamluks.
The problem is I'm not sure that an alliance with Ottomans is the best I can do right now, considering that, Ottomans let Muscovy die.
That's true. They kind of let Morocco die too.
Yeah.
Although Morocco is doing really well at the moment. Like, Morocco, I have to say, is probably the most improved player this session.
Yes, definitely.
And
I mean, okay, after the death of Calico, he could get more of Spain and so yeah.
Yep.
I'm interested in the relations Morocco has with Calico, to be honest, right?
Well, based on things that you've said to me about how Morocco is feeling about relations with you, you might find a natural ally there.
Yeah, the question is if I can help Morocco if Calico attacks. We all know how Calico can go into bankruptcy, and I would have to go through Aragon first.
True, but there are some things which Morocco could... actually, no, he can't. The same religion.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say that Morocco could be a bit of a pain off of Mamluk's coast, but not unless he switches to a pirate, which I think is still possible.
Oh well, we will see. At least I've got much of my land back. We now have to see if we can get Dutch a little bit stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening in North Italy.
Yeah, Northern Italy is interesting.
I smell a coalition war again.
Against who?
Austria.
Austria has no AE with anyone.
Yeah, but look at the development of if he takes too much, then...
Yeah, obviously, but one thing which I've definitely noticed about Austria this entire game is he's played very cautiously, and I can't see that changing.
We will see.
I mean, he does kind of have the Commonwealth and Brandenburg breathing down his neck. And that that Commonwealth is scary, because he's actually got 4 personal unions. So he's a lot bigger than he looks. Because he's got Bohemia, Hungary, and the Livonians.
That's true. The question is Austria and Commonwealth really, how do I put it? Do they have interloping spheres of influence, or can they make a deal, the rest of Europe is mine and the east of Europe is yours, or something like that?
Which is the question, yes.
Yeah.
And then also Brandenburg's thrown into that mix, somehow.
Yeah, but Brandenburg is not here for this session, so... Yeah.
That's all speculation.
Yeah.
So do you have any plans to go colonial or anything like that, or are you just going to try and build Fortress France?
For now, I'm trying to build Fortress France. Initially, I wanted to go colonial, but when stuff developed and people took more countries, I was dropping. Not sure if I will coordinate with my allies and pick it up later down the line, but I don't think so. I will put my trust into the Dutch and maybe other people to keep me afloat if they need the French for a region, if you can catch my drift.
Yes, I understand. And I actually really like the fact that you went Reformed. That's kind of a strong choice.
I would have liked Protestant more because of the money option I had, but it was just a perfect situation for me. Helsen was a little bit complaining that the moment I got a little bit back on my feet that I was instantly converting, but with my vessel already having a center of reformation and once up to the grabs, it was just to...
Yeah, now you have the war fervor, which means you have the 20% from Milan, you have the 15% from defense, and now also the war fervor means that your morale is going to be ridiculous.
Yep.
And that's probably why Helsen was complaining, because he recognizes that. Because right now, Helsen's army is definitely the strongest in the world. Like, his quality is outrageous. I'm not going to share any state secrets on that. And you're probably the only one that can rival him at the moment, militarily. Maybe the
I'm not-
Ottomans, maybe the Mamelukes, but just in raw morale, you can hold up.
Remember, Ottomans had quite some morale boost when they last fought me.
True, but I think, like, especially once you have Elan, which you have now, yeah, your 20% Elan plus the 15% from defensive alone puts you in the top 5% of the world. Then add in the Reformed War Fervor plus a morale advisor if you can get one. That's going to be scary. That's going to be very scary.
If I can afford one.
Yeah. But hey, you have Dutch money for that, don't you?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, war.
Yeah,
You
that
better
was... Yeah.
Commonwealth Conquest of Lund. Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was afraid of.
Go, fight, fight!
Yeah.
Alright, so this is a biggie, I suspect. This is, let's actually go to the diplomatic map mode so we can see this more easily. We've got the Commonwealth and all of their minions fighting against Denmark, Sweden, Norway, France. Yeah, just those. It doesn't look like Holland has jumped in. Was Holland allied to Denmark? I think they were. They have a royal marriage. I think that Holland declined. Holland has a truce with Denmark. Holland has bailed. That is one backstab and a half. So Commonwealth is going to be fighting against those guys. Commonwealth Austria has joined. The Austrian-Franco alliance has now broken down already. That did not take very long, although Austria is currently fighting against Savoy and the Papal States. So Austria's hands are kind of tied. France needs to be careful here. France needs to be really careful. And Commonwealth forces are already on the march. I wonder if this is in support of Swedish independence. If that's going to be one of the demands made here. If Sweden has come to some kind of agreement with the Commonwealth. So unfortunately Brandenburg's having to sit this one out, otherwise I'm sure that Brandenburg would want to get involved here in some form. Now, is Denmark doing what Denmark does best? And running to the Faroe Islands? Not yet. But the Commonwealth doesn't really have the fleet to challenge the Danes. The Commonwealth's going to be able to take Jutland and not a lot else. I can't see Muscovy giving access. Muscovy does not like the Commonwealth. And actually this could be a very good opportunity for Muscovy to retake Moscow. Depending on how much damage the Danes do. Like, again, this is going to be a war fought by France. It's going to be interesting to see what France does. And also, we've only got half an hour left in this session. I can't see this war ending in that time, knowing how Denmark likes to fight these wars and make them prolonged. Oh, no, it's already over. Never mind. So what happened in that? Sweden is independent. That was the demand. I thought it might have been. We have an independent Sweden, and I would not be very surprised if we see the Commonwealth guaranteeing the Swedes. I wouldn't be surprised at all by that. Is Mindboy playing today? Yes. He's here. Actually, is he? He was earlier. He was one of the ones having connection issues, so no, it doesn't look like he's playing right now. He must have dropped, and I didn't notice. Yeah, he's not in chat either. But he was around earlier. That was pretty much just a threatened war. Well, it worked. Threatened war for an entire country. Also, has Stockholm always been this big? I could have sworn that this was a separate province. I thought that was Stockholm and this was like Sud Stockholm. I don't know. Damn it, Bob, I wanted to kill you before that happened. What's happened? England's allied to Cornwall, Verden and Brabant. I don't know. Denmark's having some very serious rebel issues right now, though. The English and the Scottish rebels have definitely been causing a problem. Denmark, are you having stability issues? No, you are at 3 stability right now. You are hemorrhaging money. You've got 2 loans already. Why are you losing so much? Because your army maintenance is on full. Colonial maintenance. Ooh. Ooh, what's been going on here? Oh, you're just deving up Bleking and Nordjylland. So you're not actually colonizing anything. I know Denmark had plans to go for Greenland. I don't think that he's done that yet. He doesn't have exploration. Does Denmark just have expansion? Is that how he's got them? He does. And has completed expansion. So he's going to be relying on other people's discoveries spreading, which right now they have not been doing, except maybe with Florida. And I just doubt he can reach. Yeah, all of this is out of range. He can probably reach Greenland, but nobody's explored it. Okay, that's kind of amusing. But just using those colonists to increase your own development is also a pretty good move. Swedish separatists. Oh yeah, they are pretenders, you're right. New ruler. His current ruler is a 453, which is not terrible. And the pretenders ruler is a 125. He's rubbish, so I doubt it. Both of them are Protestants. That's not going to have a problem. Oh, this is the Count's feud. This is still the Count's feud. So he's having to deal with that plus 7 unrest. Alright, so that's an event spawned thing then. I don't think he's been able to connect all day. I've not actually seen him assume Muscovy yet. I thought he had. Could be wrong. I haven't had the Discord chat open for a while. Let me just have a very quick look.